Thanks for joining us today, Anil. Can you take us through what you spoke about at Emerging Tech in Health?
For me, the subject matter which I've been very passionate about, that is e-mental health, which is basically the role of digital technologies in provision of mental health care for the patients.
And you spoke about the fact that, there's this huge demand for mental health services and that perhaps digital could fill that gap. Can you just talk a little bit about what kind of technologies we're talking about?
The demand is rather quite massive in mental health, and doesn't matter how much more money we pour into the system, doesn't matter how many more new services, new hospitals we create, we'll never be able to physically meet that need if we just go down the traditional methods of treatment. And also the consumers, their habits and behaviors have changed as to how they conduct their lives, how they communicate, how they do simple acts such as banking and on their phones, to paying their, the people they get services from online, and do their shopping online these days. So people are used to whereas the traditional health services haven't kept up with the way they provide services. So I may be a single soul mom struggling to make ends meet, but if I need some help with my sort of a well-being around some mental health issues, I still have to go to a session at 3 p.m. to a location. I have to find a babysitter. I have to juggle around a lot of things, and then sometimes it's not conducive to my modern day lifestyle as to the challenges I have as a patient. So consumers are demanding newer ways of engaging with services. And some aspects of the healthcare, mental health care, have stepped up, and they are providing some innovation. So there are some ways of text-based, video-based, social sort of media-based treatment interventions. So sometimes, so they range from information provision to engagement with the services in the right way, where there could be also screening involved in those programs. Then there could be treatment interventions depending on which services. So they're not replacing the traditional services. That is an important point to note. These are complementary adjunct to the existing treatment services. So you are able to get the best out of all the investment that's been made into the system.
Yeah, so digital sort of helping the face-to-face services to cope, really, in terms of sustainability.
And provide more, better and effective outcomes.
Great.
For the system, but also for the service user, because that's what they're looking for. Because if you look at the current model of care, majority of the services, even if you're seeing a patient regularly, there is a minimum about 2 weeks gap before I come back and see my therapist.
Sure.
But there's a lot that happens in my life in 2 weeks. There are times when that little nudge I need, and the mental health treatment solutions are able to provide that little nudge at the time and place when I need it.
Great. And so you're also here as a delegate for the day. What do you gain personally and professionally from coming to events like this, hearing other speakers, networking?
I personally get a lot of energy to see like-minded people, different problems, how they're solving from very creative ways and means. So it's a networking with the people who are like-minded. I have got I heard a range of talks. One of them was around workforce development, because as much as e-mental health is a great solution, but change management, workforce development is a big aspect. So it's not a matter of just going and running 10 different workshops. It's about saying, what are the other ways of adult literacy programs, and some of those presentations today were just fantastic. So yeah, so there is a component of networking with the people who are doing some phenomenal work, and us not reinventing the wheel in such a small country. So we need to get to know each other as to what is already happening on the ground and how we can collaborate and partner.
Great. So we've got Digital Health Week coming up in November, so you'd encourage people in this space to get along and meet others and get inspired like you have.
Certainly, I think that is the biggest meeting point for all the innovation in healthcare. To me, that is one place you have to be there if you are vested in this domain of healthcare and innovation. In New Zealand, I think it'll be a place not to be missed. So I certainly will be encouraging all of my colleagues, not just New Zealand-based, but international colleagues as well,
Great.
to come and partake.
Great. Well, thank you very much for your time.
All right, thank you.